afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Psych Defender of the Fatherland, off here to 1 vs 1 on Angoville. In the north, it's USE-426, I think roughly around rank 25, a Wehrmacht player here, fighting for Germany, or Deutschland, rolling out here with the elite CoH2 Deutschland Panzergrenadier Division in the south. It is C19H20o2. Fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Communist Stalin, I think around rank 80 or so. Soviet player from Japan, apparently. It's users from China. We got their German infantry, Jaeger armor, and spearhead versus Guard motor, mechanized support, and Guard rifle with infantry Panzerfaust for use, and double guardsmen and infantry there for CH. Also noting every single of his doctrines has got guardsmen in them, so he's obviously going to be going for a strategy that involves a lot of guardsmen. That much is clear. We got to push here in the west, but also east was there from use, spreading out a bit aggressively, plus double grenadiers. No sign of the MG4 do here for use. Double conscript there for C19. As his conscript moving westwards and units are heading eastwards there. Note he's wiring off both entrances to the house there, or at least most of them. That way making it a bit harder for the opponent to occupy the house safely here. Versus C19, in this case, he's setting up wire traps, so that way if his opponent pops into the house, because he can still enter it, he risks getting started and then murdered by the barbed wire traps. Pioneers moving eastwards, third conscript on the way there for C19. More grenadiers out there for use. So far, no sign of the MG42. Sandbags here. The note he's placing it at the very edge. So in theory, he can still contest the point, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that one. But go figure. More wire off here. C19 is clearly looking to prepare the battlefield ahead of time. You can see he's doing the same thing here by the fuel point. Grenadiers moving for the eastern victory point. More grenadiers backing up. And the third grenadiers got their rank for use. And the CoH2 Deutschland Panzergrenadier Division. So named because, unlike most of the German divisions, back in the early days of the Wehrmacht, the CoH2 Deutschland recruited from all across Germany, where the thing is, with the German army, most of this division actually recruited from a specific part of Germany, like a city or a region. So in the case of the CoH2 Deutschland, because it recruited from the best units across Germany, it was CoH2 Deutschland that were Greater Germany. Little fun fact there, both about the naming of the CoH2 Deutschland, but also a bit about the German system. Grenadiers versus conscript, plus the Grenadiers seem to be doing alright, but we'll have to see if they can keep up. In the east, though, Uses beating C19 for now. We got more conscript there for C19, so Uses going for more Grenadiers. So far, seems like very heavy infantry engagements there from both players, and there go conscript beating the Grenadiers up close, since they do have a better DPS there. Not quite on the same level as the Riflemen, which have 50% higher DPS than the Grenadiers, but still reasonable about there. The longer ranges of the Grenadiers will usually beat conscripts. All the way, secure the eastern fuel. On the western one, though, is largely uncontested. There is Uses not phoning much forces there. C19's got a few infantry units there, so he's getting a fat chunk of the map. As he uses still slowing the bonk down, we got more conscripts moving up here. Still not the best engagement, seems to be slightly working out for him. We see the Uses falling back, perhaps realising this is not quite working out in his favour after all. More units moving up there. In the west, we've got conscript pushed back by the Grenadiers. Will he be going for any MG42s? Is just going to take off? I mean, some players do like to skip MG42s, which I think to an extent may highlight something about the MG42, but so far he's sticking just to Grenadiers. As to what doctrine's going for, who knows, but certainly the one with the synergize the best with a lot of Grenadiers would be German infantry, since getting 4 Grenadiers squads of veteran squad leaders, in fact 5 as he's heading for that, would certainly be one of the better choices there. Though of course with a lot of guardsmen out, he might have to be a bit careful there, since a lot of guards DP like machine guns would certainly give Use a bit of a headache. But there you go, Conscript got close to the Grenadiers. And this time, much better condition. We've got more Grenadiers moving in, and Use does now. C19's got nothing found in the area. Pushing up a bit for the eastern fuel point. Big Conscript plus with Engineers. Small reinforcements to the west here by the other Conscripts. But these Conscripts without Molotovs are going to have a very bad time against the Grenadiers. Pioneers moving up here. Back in, nothing further going on there for Use. Grenadiers on the far here being swarmed by the Conscripts and routed. Almost wiped out, in fact, here as C19 launches a larger assault in the west here. Things are not looking good for the Soviet army. For the 3rd Guards Tank Corps. Back here we got no upgrades for C19 either. No sign of... Oh, there we go, medics. Grabbing the eastern fuel point. Grabbing the eastern munitions. As Uses looking to perhaps flank around his opponent. Sneak up behind them, hit the car point. Nice work here. Back here, troops reinforcing. We'll have to see what he ends up with. I mean, one logical option would be Guards Rifle. He's got a lot of conscripts, guardsmen, submachine guns. All would work out very nicely. K1 tanks are back up. There may be a howitzer if it comes down to it. He could also theoretically go for Guard Motor, but at that point I know it's not going to sing just heavily. But the conscript still T-35 would be very good. Heavy mortars could be useful. Of course, Guardsman, you know, still clearly what he intends to go for to some degree or the other. Back here we got take out there for use. So a heavy infantry coming in there with 5 grenadier squads. Can result in some manpower bleed if he's not careful, but there you go. Oh, cheeky, I like this. This is definitely a cheeky move there. Basically, one reason he's snug up, he's actually to S-mount a lot of the retreat paths here, making it harder for C19 then, who's committed to the eastern side there to actually get out of the safely. If he just hits retreat, he does risk losing some units to the S-mine fields, and S-mine fields are very good at clearing out retreating units. Though we do have the minesweepers up here. Good force out there by C19. Ours couldn't go very up, but they got control taken up. Now the Grenadiers are being pushed back alongside the Pioneers. More Grenadiers then bound here for C19. So far, the Soviets are going to need some heavier firepower, I think, to break past the fascists. But there you go, he's got a Grenadier squad up already. Highlighting also a bit the danger of going for so many Grenadiers as the Wehrmacht. If you can't manage them all correctly, you can risk losing them easily. And now he's going for the MD-42, but it is a really heavy tier one he's gone for there. 5 Grenadiers and now 1 MD-42. I mean, that's definitely, in some ways, a bit more risky. But again, a player like Hughes is clearly experienced with the Wehrmacht, so he obviously knows what he's doing, I would hope. But it's definitely not a Wehrmacht strategy you see very often. I mean, this is a super heavy tier. Why don't he cancels it now goes for the light mechanized company? Interesting. Seems there might be a bit of indecision there how to deal with a Soviet player. Hughes here can begin calling in the Guardsman now. The question is just, what does he want alongside the Guardsman? I mean, he's basically a man who knows he wants to go, like, you know, burger bar or whatever, and he knows he wants a burger. The question is, what does he want to go along with the burger at this point? Bunker up, like to make a nice company up, adding medics, very good. Still no sign of doctrine that we use again. German infantry just seems like the one that makes the most sense to me. They could still go for Jaeger armor or spearhead. Seizing the point here. Moving up here in a bit of skirmishing, going for the cop on this, only scrap some fuel point, otherwise he's going to fall behind Hughes fast. And that's certainly something I imagine Hughes is going to be quick to take advantage of. I've got the support company up. I imagine Maxims here to help put pressure there on Hughes' infantry. I mean, a lot of Grenadiers would be vulnerable to a few well-handled Maxims. Or he could just use it to take fast ahead and go for a T-70, which could also put Hughes in a bit of a sticky spot. Victory points-wise, we also got a lead here for Hughes over C19. We've got the 2-2 on the way. They like to punch a Speerwagen. So far, no sign anything further there from C19. I don't think he's got anti-tank grenades, that's for sure. Bit of skirmishing here in the east, got to push there as well. Can't go up with Grenadiers, we've got more Grenadiers backing them up, noting no upgrades for Hughes' Grenadiers as of yet. And again, no clear indication of what his long-term plan is. Really, I think a good engagement here for C19 is basically losing out. I mean, the Grenadiers are in next to no car, while the countries on heavy car, but still I'm not entirely sure this is the best setup there for C19. Points being seized back and forth. And there you go, got one shot, committing to a second one as well. I mean, he's going to have to go for the Guardsmen soon if he wants to do anything with them. And there you go. First guard squad out, he could likely call for more. I mean, a lot of guard squads could give the Hughes a bit of a headache, since the Guardsmen are quite effective as both unupgraded Grenadiers and, of course, the 222. Especially with DP light machines, and give the Grenadiers a really rough time. And I imagine he'll be going for at least one more guard squad, since, I mean, with this sort of stuff here, he definitely sort of gives the impression he's going to go for that. And again, he's got all 3 guards doctrines and 2 guards bulletins. He's not going to just stick to one, he's going to go for a lot. He's going to go for a lot of guardsmen, that's for sure. So there you go, guardsmen adding the DP light machine guns. Also known as the record player because it sort of looked like one. Got the 222s going about, guardsmen up, comes their ground eastern fuel point, flares popping off there, set off by the 222. Guardsmen very carefully advancing. Pioneers flanking up behind, laying down, or at least attempting to lay down most ones, got conscripts nearby. Fight for western fuel point, lots of conscripts are going to do who are going to lose up because they're being flanked, they don't get actually the heavy car bonus there. Pioneers right in the west. 222 moving eastwards, and there you go. Going to grab the fuel point there as well. He can soon go for another guard squad, of course he could also try and take up, then again he might just want to go for a lot of guards and then push fast for, you know, tanks, and push hard against Hughes with that. Guardsman might be routed westwards here to put pressure on the enemy. No, he's defending some fuel point, and there you go. Second guard squad actually gives C19 6 infantry squads, which is a lot of infantry. And so it means he has to be careful managing it. On the other hand, I mean, with a lot of conscripts, you could theoretically just keep merging them with the guards to keeping reinforcement costs down that way, which would certainly help offset some of the manpower bleed. He otherwise risks phasing with this sort of strategy. Mines being laid down, they're trying to trip up any infantry or vehicles. Back here we have a Pack 40 on the way. There's clearly worried about light tanks or even medium tanks there from C19. And the 3rd Guards Tank Corps. 2-2 swiftly sitting eastwards here for the fatherland. Pack 40 following up. More mines. He's laying down a lot of mines. And probably in part again to do with the 2-2s, but it could also manage just to trip up infantry. So that's some nice mining there. Guardsman going to flank up behind it. To leave USE in a bit of a sticky spot. Comes the need to fall back soon. He's obviously looking to stall. Guardsman westwards. Guardsmen there hanging back. They could have tried pushing for the 2s, but guessing felt that wasn't a safe move. There you go. Guardsmen doing heavy damage, quickly dropping Ludwig. Now they're going to be the dropping in. Guardsmen with DP light machine guns have quite the significant DPS heading there into tank rifles again. They can also deal with light vehicles. Push up here in the west. We've got the Guardsmen pushing back the Grenadier squad there. One left behind. Could possibly try and get close enough to pop a grenade. And right here we can see the users trying to be positioned to set up positions to bleed out the Soviets, but C19 is not just blindly rushing in, he's being a bit cautious. There you go. In the west we got the 2-2 moving in there, taking fire from the Guardsmen, and the anti-tank rifles already got 2-2 down to half health. C19 keeps up the push, and we can certainly see here that users lack of MG42s means that C19 has very few things to fear in terms of his Guardsmen, which is definitely a problem here for users who are now forced to move down in the west here to a single guard squad, and again highlighting just how powerful they can be if they're sort of capturing off guard, which is clearly what they happened. Also, pardon the pun. No tech up yet there for use. As for C19, I definitely prioritise, I think, just moving straight from the tanker tank command to the mechanised armor company and begin getting ready for pushing out the tanks. I mean, T-34s and K1s could really prove to be a quick problem then. We got more mines up here, very good. Interesting enough, we got no submachine guns for the conscripts as of yet, but again, if he wants mines and DP light machine guns, it does make a bit of sense. Guardsman moving up there, pushing back the 2-2s, which are both heavily damaged. A lot of mines here. Again, he's being very consistent about the mining. He's establishing numerous minefields, meaning if USE just decides to blindly charge in, he can end up losing a lot. And there you go. He's going for the MG4 realizes he has to go for it now. I mean, A, he's facing off against so much infantry, but also the Guardsmen. And currently stands with his Grenadiers with only half of them upgraded. They're not going to stand too well off against the well-handled Guardsmen, which is clearly what C19 is bringing to the table here. Destroying the sandbags. Flare tripwire mines also as well. I mean, he could try and set up for flanking, getting up behind USE here. A bit more risk in terms of the retreat path, but on the hand, if it pulls off well, it could do some heavy damage there to USE. Of course, it doesn't know about the MG42, which of course, quick punishment does it right now. Instead, he pushes up here from the front, which I would say is, in terms of retreat paths, much safer, but in terms of getting jumping as opponent, maybe doing some good damage, this is less effective. But anyways, we got the Grenadier man losses, Guardsmen opening up. I think you should keep a conscript close just to merge for the Guardsmen so they can just keep up the fire as much as possible. Going up here as well. So far it doesn't look like he's using the merge ability. Bit of a shame now, I would say. Again, it's a really good, well-timed ability. Guardsmen are dropping weapons, need to pick it up, and of course, merge. Going with engineers instead. Guardsmen right here alongside engineers. We got hit with dirt here, which does not make the Guardsmen harder to kill, instead it increases their DPS overall. Unlike the conscripts, hit the dirt, which makes them harder to kill, but also decreases the DPS. Back here, nothing further going on there for C19 and the 3rd Guards Tank Corps. Up here, USE and the Großdeutschland Panzer Division hanging about. We've got to push here with the 2-2 straight into the conscripts. Guards there closing on the veteran 2 very nicely. Almost got that 2-2. Veteran 2 gained, no conscript nearby to merge. Definitely a bit of an oversight there, say that with C19 if it doesn't use merge. So no, say a hallmark of stronger Soviet players who know how to use conscripts well, they will definitely use merge. I'll wait on these push back. There's the MG42, but that's about it. Still those guards are not bringing this will be tenacious. We've got PPS-H41 submachine guns out. And we got the tank command almost done, but again I imagine at this stage he's just going to go straight for the mechanized armor company, either rush out a T-34-6 or try and get out a KD-1 fast. Sees them pointing, sees conscript coming in there, no submachine. Oh, they are getting the submachine guns, they are getting the PPS-H41. Back here, troops in reinforcing. No take-up yet for use. You definitely think should consider that. I mean, stalling for the target tank right now I feel like would be a bit of a mistake. Then again, he's actually on the defensive in terms of fuel, so he might actually find himself forced to do so. In particular, once C19 gets the tanks roller, because he can soon begin pushing out KV-1s and use this guy's single pack 40. And he doesn't even have enough fuel. So in this regard, C19 has, with a lot of infantry by the way, and guardsmen actually been able to sort of deny use a lot of fuel. Because in part, I say again, while he did go for a lot of grenadiers, the thing is the grenadiers kind of need the MG42 to work well, even if you really don't want to, because the MG42 actually is kind of sluggish and does not pair well in some ways with the grenadiers. You kind of have to go for it, because otherwise, again, you can struggle actually maintaining any ground. Sniper on the way here for you to try and push back against the Bolsheviks. Mechanized armor company up here for C19, and that'll probably be a K1 as soon as he can, which is going to be a big problem there for you, so he's only got one pack 40, and the K1 can soak up quite a bit of damage. I'm saying the sniper's not going to help with that, but he's he's grabbing the point here, getting up the MG42 a bit further would be a good idea as well, pushing eastwards. He needs to be mindful of the mines. There we go, K1. Again, part of me would just recommend, merging some of the country with the guards to get out to the field faster, but clearly C19 is less concerned with that. He just doesn't know. 2-2 here with Pioneers, going less than fuel point back, moving up eastwards here with the Grenadiers and the 2-2. He's only got one Grenadier squad now without light machines. He's also gone for Spearhead, obviously there, no German infantry. Bit of a shame there, but again, it does in theory give him that backup option if things go sour, they can just, call in the Tiger. But optimally, you should not be using the Tiger like, like that. But again, it can be sort of a last resort. You sort of got yourself in a bad spot. 2-2 with units in the east, closing in eventually 2. Grenadiers moving ahead with light machine guns. Back here, guardsmen reinforcing. We got the K1 there, tank ready for C19 and the Red Army. By 1944-45, any KV tanks were likely to have been to the KV-85, which was basically a KV tank with a better turret and a bigger gun. Fun fact there. Comes there routed by the Grenadiers with the light machine guns. He's got conscript guards moving up here against the Grenadiers, rushing forwards with an hoorah. Mine goes off, K1 setting out. 2-2 see in a lot of trouble as they engage there by the K1, and it's 76.2mm gun. Fun fact, in some cases the Germans would capture the K1s, in a few cases they then upgraded them with the same gun as the Panzer IV. The higher velocity one it is, or the higher velocity one of the Panzer IV. Taking hits there from the Panzer 40 Grenadiers, trying to get close enough to the Panzer IV, they don't quite land. At least the 2-2s were able to get away. USE going for the second pack 40. So it's clearly at this stage going to just try and stall for the Tiger tank. He clearly does not think he can get away with fast enough tech here. So it's going to be the Tiger stall here for use due to, again, a strategy while again initially successful, struggle to keep control of the fuel, whereas again C19's heavy infantry build, which USE then didn't have the machine gun fast enough to deal with, just allowed him to gain control of the map there, plus lots of mines, which further just makes it just easily moves infantry about freely. And now the KV-1 heavy tank. Guardsmen continuing about there. Grenadiers on the fire from the guardsmen. Closing in eventually 3. He's not far off from the activating calling another K1, though he could also just go for a T-44 from the 6. Grenadiers right at the MG42 close but can't quite cover there. We got Grenadiers versus the country sport here. Light machine guns versus most of the guns. And there you go, KV-1 on the move. Guardsmen are suppressed by the MG42. Might as well end up being pinned down. Sniper joining in the fun here, 5 kills. There you go, Guardsman pinned down, but still, USE once more finds himself cut off from his fuel. To do then, engaging autocannon shots though, bouncing harmlessly off the K1's armour. Conscript going for the fuel point there, pushing to these with some 2-2 and Grenadiers here, as the Conscript charging in. Getting some killing done here though, the 2-2 can do some quite nice damage alongside the Grenadiers. He might pop an anti-tank grenade, but then Case doesn't. Suffering a wipe here again. 600 squads can be quite tricky to manage, and at some point you're likely to slip up like C19 did there. But it's now turned more manageable 5 infantry squads. Back here, troops in reinforcing. USE-19's almost got the resource lead in terms of fuel for the Tiger tank. He just needs the command points and the manpower. Now sweeping out mines in the centre, which C19's been laying out, and again he's been mining a lot. And he's not far off from 7K1 tanks. I mean, USE-19 is definitely going to see some work cut out there for the Tiger tank once it hits the field. Since again 2K1s is going to be quite a bit of firepower needed. Contact Scott's moving up here. Still no sun emerging here from C19. Seems like he's not a big fan of that one, but there we go. 2K1 tank should be ready right about now. The build that is not ready to get on the field right away.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
We got 275 versus 423, and there it goes. 2K1 out there for C19. He might want to try a bit of a deeper flanking on the west to outmaneuver the initial positions. Here can use as the K1 tank. And these got advanced with the Canadians backed up by the sniper parties moving further eastwards. Contact Guardsman out in the open. Got the 2-2 moving in. And we got the 2K1. They're just slowly approaching the front line here for C19 and the 3rd Guards tank corps. Also got air support unlocked here. For C19, he's actually doing more damage here than USE, and certainly got more command points to show for it. The USE is clearly not far off from the Tiger tank. There you go. Mine goes off, killing numerous Grenadiers. The K1 just charges ahead like a lumbering behemoth of Stalinist steel. 2-2, they're firing away its cannon shots, pointlessly bouncing off the K1's frontal armor, unable to pierce the thick hide of the KV1. Pack 40 opens up and hits a car. Pioneer surrounded by the Guardsmen. Ace level as well. That's very good there for C19. That's good for USE's men. Looks like those Pioneers will bite the bucket, leaving in fact with no Pioneers now, which is going to be a bit of a problem in terms of mines, but also in terms of repairing the Tiger tank. So once he gets the Tiger tank up, because he's not going to slow down now, he's going to need to get a bunch of Pioneers up, because otherwise that Tiger tank could theoretically get heavily damaged and with a damaged engine, and then he's just going to end up doing nothing here for USE.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Counter that pushback by the Jutsu and the Grenadiers. And there we go, Tiger tank available here for USE, and the Großdeutschland Panzer Grenadier shown. There we go. Tiger tank, or Tiger Panzerkampfwagen 6. Worth noting, I don't think they would have been in Panzergau. That was very much an early war color by, I think, 1943 or 44. They would have been Dunkelgelb, which would have been late 1944, replaced with Dunkelgrün, as sort of the primary sort of base color of the tank. Little fun fact there. Anyways, Tiger tank charging 40 with its 88mm gun. Good hit in the Guardsman, taking out Sergei and Antonov, and there you go, landing a fat hit in the K1 with the Tiger tank. Going ahead, their shot bounces off the Tiger tank's armor. Tiger shoots, fails to penetrate. Though technically in the actual war, Tiger tank would have no problems with the K1 since its armor was, I think, roughly around 60mm. Which was really impressive at the very start of the war, but by 1944 it wasn't particularly much. Tiger tank there doing heavy damage to the K1, almost got in fact. Other K1 moving in there, Tiger tank falling back. Still a need of Pioneers, and of course he has to be careful about how he moves it, because C19 has been mining a lot, so of course one mistake it could prove to be a bit of a problem for USE. We got air recons in there to try and get an idea there where the opponent is and isn't. That's definitely a nice idea there by USE. Thumbs up to that one. Tiger tank falling back though. Grenadiers heading back for enforcement. Close to getting more Pioneers out. He's moving westward to deal with infantry there. Tiger shoots, misses. Moving out a bit closer. Of course, he's trying to stay mindful of range and distances. The country just rushed and damaged his engine. Since again, that could leave the Tiger tank in a pretty bad spot, seeing as he has no Pioneers at the moment. He definitely should be going for Pioneers, and there you go. USE very wisely goes for it. For C19, they definitely consider investing into tank destroyers, either the SU-5 or even some SU-6s, but he needs something that can lay down a lot of fire as the Tiger tank, because just the K1s could in some ways, maybe if it gets free out, he could swarm the Tiger tank, maybe do the job, and particularly support from infantry, but even then there might be a few issues there. K1 with a lot of guards from the east here, pushing back the Grenadiers. Tiger tank charging impact up with the Pack 40. Shot bounced. Tiger tank takes miss of the anti-tank rifles, which really shouldn't have no chance to get to Tiger tank from frontal armor. There you go, direct hit on the Guardsman, causing numerous casualties. Second shot misses there. Still, we got here full retreat from C19's Guardsman. That's a Tiger tank strikes. Another shot fired. We got air support called in to break off at least uses infantry. There we go, got the 2-2s providing fire support. Looks like one of the aircraft actually got shot down pretty rapidly, which is actually kind of impressive. They're ready to see it to the 2 taking down with almost the first burst, but there you go, K1's going again, the Tiger tank backed up by Pack 40 Fransley. Not good here, now we got a traffic jam there, so trying not to get them all through the very same small narrow point. Bit of a problem there for C19, bit of awkward pathing. And there you go, one K1 tank down there. Always mind your traffic. Montgomery ran into that issue repeatedly during his assaults or campaigns. North Africa, Normandy. It was sort of the thing that kept repeating and appearing in Monty's battle plans. Interesting enough. He was never quite good at dealing with them. You ever seen him, you never learned from it. There you go. Tiger tank, those doing heavy damage roll to taking a lot of damage. Got smoke that popped up to try and get him out of there. Damaged engine, but at least he's got pioneers now. Didn't quite get the K1 tank, still taking out one and leaving C19 the heavily damaged is pretty good. We probably should bring up any more pioneers and then tag out. Who's going to do this with M4 support there, providing coming in fire for the Tiger tank as Hughes M246 extracted here from the situation. There you go, 1-2 goes down, giving up its life in service of a greater cause. Tiger tank is going to need some repairs, by the way, half 8 of it 2. Certainly been a well handled Tiger tank so far by USE M246, even a bit risky at times.
We have lost a pack gun.
Fun fact about Tiger tanks, early versions of them had sort of S-mine launchers to help deal with nearby infantry, but that was actually dropped. Though they did try attaching them to other things, so that seemed to never caught on. I think they just went over to sort of an overall system and applied to a lot of the tanks, sort of the I can't quite remember the name for it. It was sort of a self-defense system that involved a sort of a little hatch where they could fire sort of a series of small grenades, either flares, smoke, or fragmentation grenades at any infantry nearby. Basically using sort of a flare pistol mounted in the top of the roof. Little fun fact, an opening for it. Little fun fact. Anyways, Tiger tank everything repairs. Similarly, the smoke system there, sort of attached to the side of the tank, or smoke candles, whatever, was also discarded, though that was because it turned out to be a fire hazard. So again, the whole sort of narcotic stuff, there we go, that was sort of what they went up with, which I imagine was overall less flammable for starters, and of course more flexible. Our way, Tiger tank getting fixed up slowly. He could again do more pioneers, and he has in fact brought up more pioneers. That's very good. You still think should take up to bring in more armor here versus C19. Guardsman there close to the ace level. MD42 moving up close to the ace level as well. Very good. We can see now C19 suffered heavy infantry losses. Most of his content was actually dead, so that's less good. Engaging the Tiger tank head on there with the K1. Needs to get the issue up there. He's got air support pulled in. At this point, I think C19 needs to sort of change his tactics. Right now, still assuming he's got the advantage, but he doesn't, so he needs to switch his tactics, being less direct, sort of seeking out confrontation, being more to outmaneuver used, so that way sort of slowly bleed him out. But instead, he's still trying to assume like he's the one with the larger force and trying to break down his opponent. But right now, that's just causing USE M426 to get some very favourable engagements, which is not good. March going off from the west here, causing some harm to USE's grenadiers. Tiger tank falling back there for further repairs. Very close to victory too. And we got more guardsmen out here for him. Putting at 3 guard squads, but he's lost another counter squad by the looks of it. And I think we may have fallen the course, then aircraft crashing down into the poor bastards. That's quite brutal. Quite fortunate that for USE, when the Third Air Force accidentally ends up killing their own. Constantly moving about here. Oh, the packs are exposed, but there's a sniper nearby who might be able to use the incendiary exposed around there to sort of stop the advance. Of course, the Tiger tank open out with the incendiary in the gun. Trying to get off another tank grenade. Oh, might just work here. Close one though. Could be a wipe though. Got the explosion up here. It pierces the Tiger tank's armor with this 85mm gun. And we got air recon called in to allow USE to get a better idea there what his opponent's up to. Shed collapses. H5 comes ahead. He's trying to take out the Tiger tank, but instead he's taking too much fire to him, setting up for focus. Certainly can't easily escape the Pack 40s. And there you go, the USE-5 tank destroyer goes down. That was definitely not good. The C19 again, he needs to switch his tactics. He can't afford to attack and a CLU's head on. He needs to outmaneuver, he needs to flank him. Used by finally taking out, thumbs up to that. Target tank though is doing him quite well there so far, in part because it's just a massive draw. It's a massive piece of bait there, and it's clearly just working on C19. It's just can't stop not trying to destroy it. He's really worried about it, which just means he actually ignores all the other risks, making it easier for use M42 or 246 to actually inflict quite a bit of harm on him. So again, C19 needs to switch up his tactical approach. He needs to stop trying to take head on. He needs to again try and hit the rest of the map. Needs to outmaneuver, try and focus on the victory points for now, until he can build up a larger force and that way try and crush him again. But until then, he needs to play a more careful game, because right now he's just playing a game that very much favours use M246, and there they are marked. Big guards push here, the 3 guard squads. C19 is going all in here for the motherland. Finally realising he needs to attack another pattern, direction. They've just done that a bit sooner before throwing away most of his armour and infantry. Okay, one tank there being fixed up. We'll have to see what he goes for next. We got a support core going out there for use. Very good, so good. And he's going straight for tier 4 though, just in case it seems. Interesting. He might be a bit worried there about what C19 could still do, so rather than just, staying with the support core, you might just be using the support core as a just in case thing, in case he gets hit with more tanks on the Nova, he can still quickly react with Stugs or Panzer IVs. Whereas if he doesn't, and C19 is in a worse situation, he can then just more safely go for tier 4 and begin bringing up the really heavy stuff. That might be possibly here what USE is thinking versus C19. And now C19 is going for a howitzer. I can't help but feel the timing for that is a bit weird. I mean, right now the main issue is tanks, although there's of course a lot of anti-tank guns and infantry, but the howitzer not going to stop the target tank. The target tank is going to stop the howitzer if it gets within range, and right now there's not exactly a lot here to defend against it anyway, so that kind of makes that positioning even sort of more suspect, I would say, by C19. The air reconnaissance going to get up. Well, again, really big thumbs up to USE for consistent use of reconnaissance overflight. Again, it just really gives them a much clearer idea of what his opponent is up to and how he can react to that. I mean, knowing where your opponent is and isn't is actually a pretty big deal. In particular, you can sort of find a really good spot to hit and flank. That can be really powerful as well. But right here, it more or less tells him, A, his opponent's building a howitzer, and 2, there's absolutely nothing between said howitzer that's going to really seriously matter, and his Tiger tank. So now he brings up the Pack 40s. So right here, C19 there is in a very bad spot. We got the guards moving up, but still the howitzer there is about to get done. Great hit from the Tiger tank, 25 kills, eventually 2, popping smoke there. Guards are bunching up quite heavily. And there you go, they're splitting up more, which is good. I'm just going to fire point blank here at the almost point blank there. Pack 40s, that's a very good move there. Good punish there for use for extending. 26 kills in the Tiger tank. That hit down the guardsman. Guardsman taking further casualties. And there you go, C19 surrenders. A loss here for the Soviet Union. A glorious victory for the fatherland. A nice display there, what a well-handled Tiger tank can do, but also good reconnaissance use can do. And of course, when to switch your tactical approach there. Again, I feel like USE would have done better with an early MD42 there versus C19's heavy strategy. But again, C19 was able to leverage his infantry effectively. Just the problem when he sort of came to the late game, at a certain point that he made a few mistakes, he then sort of, rather than switch his tactics and strategy after those mistakes, kept at it, which rather only favoured a USE. So, keep that in mind. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell your enemies. And a big thanks to Martin for donating and support the Propagandacast, allowing me to keep doing this day after day. So big thanks to you, Martin. You're part of my company of heroes. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for an awesome episode